a wonderful afternoon and great evening. For some of you, it's still Sunday. This week, we'll learn scientifically how meditation is helping improve our health, improve the energy, improve the powers of the memory, so that when we say, I'm starting afresh, it's like a second inning. I'm totally rewired. It's because of this, that we feel so good in the body. In general, it's our cognitive functions, that we feel that something new is now back again into the body, into our life. Stress is the number one reason for most of the ailments in the body. And stress is nothing but moving the body into heightened but unsupportive emotional states, moving the body into what we call the fight and flight modes. And this happens when the brain waves are in a when the brain has got an heightened activity. When last time we saw, there is the brain waves from a beta to alpha to theta to delta. If there is order, the conscious mind is all in beta state, where the subconscious mind is all in alpha, theta, delta. The beta brainwaves is where we are quite rigorously thinking. That is the state. Within that, when a heightened state is where we are actually causing a lot of stress. Very worried, very anxious, all that is there. And research shows that when we meditate regularly, the brain waves are coming down automatically. The frequency of the brain waves is coming down to lowered states. That means automatically moving away from this conscious active thinking to subconscious modes, where we are lower, we are thinking lower, in lower frequency. All that heightened activity is gone. And then the research is that it only takes an average 1 to 2 minutes to go into lowered states of thinking, contrary to what we might feel in our meditations. 1 to 2 minutes is all it takes when you start observing the breath. We are slowing down the brainwave frequency in general to lowered states within 1 to 2 minutes. We start observing the breath. Of course, thoughts will come, then you go back, and then you come back. But then you are in general into lowered states pretty quickly. That's why whether someone is saying that they went into deep trance states, or when they are saying, I'm still thinking full of thoughts, this and that, in most cases, they're improving their overall well-being in a few weeks, because you are coming down into lowered states pretty quickly, and then you are able to go there as you are sincerely practicing this breath mindfulness meditation. And there is also the other thing. When they're doing this heart elevation, or the gratitude, or of course the manifestation meditation, like what yesterday evening in our weekly connect some of us did, we revolve in the alpha theta states during those times, because we are in an elevated mode and we are visualizing, we are thinking about an active positive feeling about somebody, something, in their gratitude, in that heart elevation. we're revolving in these heightened states. I mean, there's alpha, theta states, which are very, very supportive for the body's emotion and the body's homeostasis, the balanced functioning of the body. So in the research, and especially in the meditative state, when we're doing that, gratitude and then heart elevations, and then we are absolutely keeping ourselves in this lowered brainwave states, which means we are in the subconscious states. And we're in that states, and we are going close to the source. We are going close to this emptiness. And as we are very close to the emptiness, whatever we are saying has to go and then reach whatever we are thinking. If you feel good about people around, then it has got to go, and then it has to manifest back into physical reality of having that goodness all around. So just our few minutes of mindfulness meditation that we are doing is first bringing ourselves down into this lowered states of mind, into the subconscious states, pretty quickly. It doesn't take long, pretty quickly. They do the EEGs, brainwave scans, and then many times they found that this is what happens for people who regularly meditate. And then second, when we are doing this heart elevation and gratitude, we are revolving in these lowered states nicely. And then not only we're revolving in the states, but we're also projecting something very fundamental. That positive feelings that we are projecting, and so we were receiving those positive feelings, positive environment is getting created for us. So shall we go into our meditation once again, and then we'll understand today how stress is interfering in the body functioning, and then how meditation is helping remove stress. Relax yourself, sit comfortably. For those of you who are new, we are doing breath mindfulness meditation or anapanasati meditation. Our goal is to empty the mind in this meditation, and then for that we observe our normal natural breath. You remove the specs, close your eyes, cross your fingers into fingers, rest your hands comfortably in your lap, cross your feet. That's supposed, fingers into fingers, rest hands comfortably in your lap, cross your feet at ankle. Sit comfortably, spine need not be erect. And then we observe a normal natural breath. Take any point in the nose and observe the breath is going in and coming out. So when you observe this breath, automatically the mind slowly becomes empty. When you're observing the breath, also becomes shorter, lighter. For some people, they can observe it. And as breath is becoming lighter, we are becoming more and more empty. And slowly we'll forget that we are breathing or are observing our breath. Also really we observe the breath becomes that light. And then when it becomes almost a non-existence is when we become totally empty. We don't have to think about how to become empty. As we observe the breath, we become empty. So this is a breath mindfulness meditation. During that time when we are becoming empty, you might feel any feelings, any experience sensations. Just be a witness to it. Do not interpret what's happening in your body. Just be a witness, and whenever you feel your thinking thoughts, then come back to observing the breath. This is breath mindfulness meditation. I'll be guiding. There'll be music, but your primary goal is to be observing, and if you feel your thinking, come back to observing the breath. But otherwise observe and then let it go. Wherever it takes, just go with the breath. And then before doing that, we are doing something called heart elevation. So the legs are still kept crossed, and your hands, you just rest them on your chest area. With your eyes closed, you follow me actively, where our goal is to feel a heightened emotion like love, gratitude, compassion. Love, gratitude, compassion, kindness, care, appreciation, any of these emotions you want to feel. So you can recollect an event from your life where you're a loving moment, a gratitude moment, or a compassionate moment when you're spending time with others. The goal here is to become one with people around, animals around, the places around, whatever that makes you bind with the environment. That's the idea. So one of all these emotions that I talked about make us bind with something outside of us, to feel that we are all one. So this is the idea, and it actually helps us to go into the empty states of mind quickly. That's why doing this heart elevation process. So relax yourself. Follow me, my guidance actively during this heart elevation process for all the newcomers. As we relax in, let's learn one of the most important aspects of how meditation is helping us gain that radiant health. Those of you who attended the session, you'll be recalling all the concepts in the past. Health is the foundation, particularly those business executives, anybody for that matter, whether it's a homemaker, whether it's a student, it is the foundation, we know it. If that back pain comes, we feel like we're crippled. We can't do anything. We can't do anything. The body is, we are everywhere, but the moment back pain is there, that's it, we are stuck. So is the case with many, many other ailments. When that migraine headache comes, gone. That 1.5 day, 1 day is gone. But the beauty is that meditation is curing all ailments. And none of us want to be away from work. We fall sick, and then can you afford, particularly these days, where there's so much going on, can you be away from work for a week, 2 weeks? Because you have this recurring chronicle, whether it is asthma attack, whether it is this and that, can you afford to be away from work? And there are a lot of times where we're not well, and then yet we have to go to work. How many times that is happening? And then how painful it is to show up there but not able to contribute, and then where the whole team is observing closely. If you're a teacher and you have to go to school, and then all the children are looking at you, but they can't perform, but there's no option. You can't take leave, then you have to go. And then what is the way? Is there a way to be healthy all the time? Meditators are becoming healthy, and then they're staying healthy, keeping great health all the time. Not having to think about taking any medication, not having to think about getting some checkups done, because they know deep inside the body is functioning absolutely great. I'm able to be like that since 2002. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people are doing that way, that they are gaining their health completely. And the biggest reason is stress. Biggest reason for not having good health. More than 90 to 95% of the various conditions, various ailments are caused due to stress. Epigenetics now is saying that more than 90% of the ailments that we felt are hereditary are actually reprogrammable. The genes are reprogrammable. They thought that every gene produces one protein, but they actually saw that every gene is producing various new proteins. And there is any amount of capability in the genes that you can produce more and more and then heal more and more conditions. So stress is the number one reason for not allowing the body to function to its full capability. Stress is the number one reason that is tampering into the body immunity. And what is stress? Stress is nothing but your moods and your temperaments are getting agitated in whatever that you're doing. And the moods and temperaments of the past memories are getting agitated of whatever you're doing because of, again, circumstantially you feel you're a victim, so we feel we are pushed to do things, we feel things are not happening for us based on a certain past and temperaments. Or if we feel that we lost important people in our life, and as a result we carry that temperaments, those moods, the lower thoughtful moods continuously forever. When we are carrying ourselves in this lower feeling of grief, feeling of frustration, feeling of anger sustained continuously, then we are building up enough stress in the body. And what does it mean? It means moving the body into something called a fight and flight mode. This is becoming very common. There are various articles on this. We move the body into a fight and flight mode. Our physical body has an excellent capability to protect itself whenever there is a danger. When there is a real danger, when there is a physical threat, it has a capability to protect itself. So that's why that intelligence has created the body where it's got that capability to go into a fight or a flight mode. It is designed to protect the body when there is an imminent danger coming. Like if you're walking in a forest, in a deep forest, and then suppose an animal, a ferocious animal is coming towards you, chasing at you. So you got to do something. Leave that. And if you're walking at your parks and the dog is coming and chasing at you, you got to do something. So to protect ourselves, there is this concept of fight and flight mode where the body moves into this fight and flight mode. And then what does it mean to protect ourselves? It means to give more strength to fight or to fly away, to run away. One of the two, right? When we have an imminent danger, either we can fight or we can run away. One requires a lot of strength in our hands to fight, of course in legs. Either requires the strength in hands and legs so that you can either escape from that situation or you can actually be part of it and then fight it. Depending on what you choose at that instance. So the fight or flight mode is where the body, the moment it senses an imminent danger, the sensory input sends the signal that okay, there is a danger, and then suddenly body goes in to this concept of fight and flight mode. Certain neuropeptides released from this amygdala center in our subconscious brain, and automatically it sends the signals into the body. So there is a chemical called cortisol, and then several other associated chemicals are dumped into the body, or adrenal raises. In order to improve the blood circulation quite a bit into the legs and hands, these chemicals are dumped into the body. They are good for protecting the body for a temporary, very small period of time, to take the body into the emergency situation where it needs to shut down everything else in the body. Just like when we have an emergency, then we know that we don't do anything, right? You know, if you are functioning normally, you shut it off. You know that. The moment we see an emergency condition, then shutters are drawn, things are closed, and then whatever is the most minimal, absolutely important thing is all that is done. What we call the essential supplies, essential functioning goes on. Everything else shut down, right, in an emergency mode. People take shelter, people take rest. All the systems are rested, only the essential functions continue. Same thing with the body, no different. We have various glands, various systems are there. Right, the digestive system is there. The glands here, thyroid glands are there, thyroxine, the brain pineal glands are there. Pituitary gland, of course, is controlling the whole body. Each of them have their own functions and they're performing. But when body goes into this fight and flight mode, into this emergency mode, in order to focus on a few things to protect itself during that time when the lion or a dog is chasing at you, that animal is chasing at you or the dog is coming at you, then the body moves in where it dumps its chemicals. But they tell you what, we usually are not there in that mode for too long a period. When the animal is chasing at us, either we have done something or the other. In the next 2-3 minutes, we've done something or the other. Either we have successfully fought with it or we have successfully escaped from it. It's all happening quickly, isn't it? You're not going to be the threat of a dog barking coming at you and then continue to be there in that environment. We don't do that. We've got to know the situation one way or the other. And it's common sense we do that. When you're walking and if there are ferocious dogs constantly, what do? We say, okay, fine, I'm going to retire away and then we go back. Or we're going to take a stick and then drive them away and then you continue. But all of it happens within a couple of minutes. And so when this body goes into the fight and flight mode, and then usually we are coming out of that situation. But what's happening when this fight and flight mode, where the body is preparing itself to protect, so it's shutting down all the functions of the body other than things that are necessary. What is necessary? One, pumping a lot of blood into the hands and legs. Two, it is dilating the eye pupils so that you get a focused attention straight. You don't get distracted easily. So because you have to be focused right on that particular thing that right now in front of you, that danger. So it helps us to focus. Then it does two more things. Like apparently it produces some kind of chemical so the body distays physical protection. But in order to do that, in order to gain maximum energy into the legs and hands, the body is actually doing now, recognizing and saying what is not necessary right now. And it feels, okay, it's not necessary to have my digestive system, shut it down. Switch off. Disconnect it, shut it down. It feels, okay, I have this great cognitive function for reading, writing, listening. Shut it down, not required right now. There's no time to read and write and learn, no time to create. Shut down this whole cognitive functions in the brain. That decision making, all of that goes away. That frontal neocortex brain. Thyroid systems, not necessary right now. Shut it down. Whatever that's not necessary, they have been taken into a lowered states of functioning. They shut down on lowered states. Instead, it is fully supporting blood circulation to the legs and hands, and then some of the focused eye attention, things like that. That's where it is putting all our energy, just like what we do. The COVID time, you know that 99% everything shut down. Only thing was essential supplies were running. So far, so good. Everything shut down, it's good. Then we got the energy, so we're pumping, so we're going forward and we're protecting ourselves. But the problem is, in a normal physical danger, we're able to come back very quickly. In 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that danger is past. And then we're also allowing the body to come back to the normal condition. From the fight and flight mode, it restores back, it pulls back into the normal condition. And so those chemical dumping stops, and then they'll also take time to pull out of the body system. From the blood system, they pull out. It takes a few hours, but it is okay. But at least the dumping stops because you pulled back from this fight or flight mode, that heightened fearful mode. We came back. And so the body restores back and it's good. But however, with the normal, in the modern environment, that animal, that person that is coming in there need not be that thing that is causing us need not be that animal. It can be our boss. It can be that colleague with whom we fought quite a bit. It can be my mother-in-law or my daughter-in-law or the son-in-law. The moment we see in the morning and then you wake up and then come out and then say, oh my gosh, what am I going to face today? Just by those situations, those people that we hold on to, latch on to the past memories. And then so we keep driving those, we keep remembering the feelings of that absolute agony, the frustration, that anger, the fights. We remember those, and then suddenly emotional buttons are triggered. And so we also cause our body to go into the stress mode, fight and flight mode. Whenever the body goes into that mode, dear friends, again we're dumping these chemicals. That cortisol and dumping that chemicals, and then as a result, our body is kept in a heightened awareness, constantly heightened awareness. The brain is functioning in, because heightened awareness is functioning in beta, and it's no time to relax and rejuvenate, right? It has got to be in an active. So beta is active, high beta. So the problem is that if you're continuing this way, if you're continuing this way throughout the day and then tomorrow into tomorrow, that 80% of the thoughts are negative and stressful, anxious. And if you continue to be worried about what happens to my job tomorrow, and what happens whether I can get my admission tomorrow because of these situations, and if you continue to be anxious about it, in the future, worry about the past, and then we sustain those feelings, and so we sustain the chemical into the body, and we sustain those heightened awareness into the body, and as a result, the body is constantly keeping various dysfunctions shut down. So digestive system shut down. So all kinds of problems, ulcers, heartburns, to simple heartburns to ulcers, everything is indigestion. Sleep won't be there because they're already in a high beta. They won't be sleep. Because heavy stress is carried. It's called stress. Since the cognitive function is shut down, absolutely, very, very poor decision making. Mind is fuzzy. No decision making. It's not a time to create at all. So you'll be very, very performing poorly. We may be great at our best, but then here we can't even create things. We perform to understand. When we have these negative, stressful thoughts, then we are allowing the body, we interfere in the body functioning where all the systems are shut down. Just with the sight of that boss, sight of that person, we're recollecting several older memories. We go into those modes, we go into those temperaments. Grief, loss of somebody. When we recognize, we must read Bhagavad Gita. We must read A Soul's Journey by Peter Richelieu. We read several of these books from East and West and understand that we are moving from one to the other, one place to the other, one world to the other, are coming back again and again. It cannot be explained, otherwise a 5-year-old have singing like Lata Mangeshkar out of nowhere. Somebody born in Tamil Nadu speaks Russian, it's not possible. There's got to be some connection. There's got to be something beyond this, just this life alone. There is a whole concept of law of reincarnation. You've got to study that, understand it. And when we understand that we are actually energy, not just pure matter, then we recognize that energy is permanence. There's no impermanence of energy. The matter is temporary. And so when you recognize that energy is permanently there, and then what is death is a simple temporary state. And we've still just gone back to the energy. So then is there a communication at the energy level that can happen with anybody, with anything? We'll be amazed to learn the research to say that yes, it's possible to have the communication going even if that physically the person is not there. But we do not know, and we have been taught and been told, and so we feel this is it, the life is it. And then so we grieve quite a bit. We've got to understand that death is just a passing state. And we understand that we overcome that feeling that somebody is lost, but somebody is always there energetically with us. So dear friends, meditation is helping us fundamentally lower that volume of thought While that physical danger, which we get into occasionally, rarely, right? Physical danger happens once or twice, maybe once in a month, once in 2 months, once in 3 months. It's a good thing to protect ourselves. The caveman, the people in the olden age, Stone Age, they were living in forests and then they had to have this, and so they would get into this threats regularly. And so they go in and then come out, but still good. But we don't have that now. We are in this nice, comfortable, cushy accommodations, cushy places, but we cause that stress, that fight or flight mode just with our latching on to these temperaments and moods, holding on to that thing that we feel is so important, it has no meaning. But then we are doing a great disservice to ourselves by continuing to hold on to those agonies and angers and frustrations. So what is then the answer is to, if the stress now is caused not by the physical condition anymore, by this memory, this mind of the memories and thoughts and feelings and beliefs that we form over a period, that my boss just absolutely is such a selfish person. You form based on 1 or 2 or 3 conditions, and you go from one company to another company, then you make a common general belief that all managers just are always selfish. This is a general belief we go with. And so every time you see somebody, then automatically the adrenaline raises, whether you had it or not have it. It just raises because you generalized it and then they're carrying that belief. Whether you actually had a bad experience or not, the moment you see a manager, the moment you see somebody senior management, you might have that. Just like people carry a belief that okay, companies just don't give any rise, and so that also causes stress. Large companies don't give rise hike, but you're there, you feel helplessness, and you have situations you require more money in the daily life, but you feel you have this belief that they don't give hikes, so you're helpless. Pressure is mounting, so the stress raises because you're helpless. You feel that helplessness. Then I'm working hard, but the companies are not giving me good rise. So that also causes stress. When you feel helplessness, it causes stress. So in many ways we're causing, and then the way is to reduce the volume of thought. Remove those negative, remove those stressful, anxious, worrisome feelings and thoughts. Meditation is the way. Meditation is helping us absolutely, what we are doing every day. We're relaxing ourselves and reducing it. And as a result, friends, many people very quickly, as meditation, we understood just 1.5 to 2 minutes is all it takes to lower the brain waves from beta to alpha, from a conscious active states to a subconscious relaxing states. When it goes there, then automatically that is a state where we go into sleep. So insomnia gets removed, so people go into sleep. They felt, many of the time they said, no, we are into good sleep now. Very quickly is because of that. And then many of them are solving various ailments, whether it's heart diseases, digestive diseases, functioning, headaches, migraines, everything is all going away. All that 90-95% stress related, all of them will go away very easily with meditation, because we understand scientifically that we are allowing the body to function naturally. We're not letting our system shut down for prolonged period of time. That's the key. And as we do this, then with meditation where we are lowering our thought, we're lowering our thought, and so requirement, and then when you're staying still and lowering the thought, practically we're not doing anything, right? We're doing nothing. So when they're doing nothing state, and then obviously the body is requiring less and less oxygen, so that also is taken down. And then when you're in this most relaxed state is when the repairing the body happens. You know this. When you have a lot of time relaxing, COVID time has given so much opportunity for everybody to go and then clean up, right? When you had a lot of time relaxing, so we could able to go and then clean up houses, do whatever the repairing, everything that's required. We get creative. A lot of in the morning, we feel fresh and energetic because there's a lot of repair that's happening in the sleep. And meditation is helping us take us into a deeper REM sleep states. That rapid eye movement sleep state is also a state where body is repairing itself significantly. There is a 90-minute cycle where there's no dreams. We say that, hey, I slept like a log, I don't know what happened. That's the REM sleep. And the deep sleeps that meditation is taking, as many people who feel sleepy, but they're actually going into this deep REM sleep where they say, okay, I didn't know anything what happened. We have the two sleep states, sleep with the dreams and the sleep without dreams. So the REM sleep is the delta state, alpha, theta, delta, which is that lowest frequency state where deep sleep. So meditation is taking us into the states too. Now, when do we go into that, when do we not go into that is an intelligence that we don't know. But it does go into from lower states, and as a result, we're going to the deep sleep states, so a lot of repair is happening on the body. And then we are in the lower states because we're in the lower relaxing states, there isn't any, all the systems of the body are functioning so well. And so very quickly we overcome these heart burns, indigestion problems. People clear gallbladder stones through meditation. Many people where the doctor said you need surgeries and angiograms and the stunts, you need to have stunts and stuff and this and that, but then after 2-3 weeks they go and say, okay, nothing is required now, you're just fine. After resorting to meditation, sugar and BP, and these are very, very common. Everything that comes to, dear friends. So health is fundamentally the first thing that we gain in meditation. We'll talk about energy and sleep and other aspects, things like anxieties and what causes addiction on Wednesday in more detail. And what causes addiction and how do you get over this addiction, how meditation is helping us. All of that on Wednesday. When I learned this, it is that simple, that every time I'm carrying a negative feeling, and if I'm continuing that feeling, and I'm stressful, okay, so yes, there is a big escalation from the client has come. And then only thing we do is to think about it, because that is something caused by us, potentially by our work. And I'm so worried. What is management going to do tomorrow? What are my colleagues going to think? What is the client is going to react with? And I'm so worried into the next day and the next day until the problem is solved. And that stress, and we carry that. And as a result, the moment I learned that when we carry some things and then it is actually disconnecting our systems of the body, on one side we are losing so much health, on another side our decision making becoming so poor because even the cognitive function is shutting down. When you are in this most stressful condition is where you need to have very good decision making capability, right? Because it's an unknown. You're suddenly dealt with an unknown situation. There is a problem, big problem for the client in whatever that you're giving, and then so it's an unknown because it's not something that you guessed it. It has come. So you need to have a better functioning so that you can actually work very well, perform very well. But that is the time the cognitive function where the decision making, clarity, and then looking at various things, ability to construct from various past experiences is going down. So on one side health goes down, another side mentally also we cannot perform well. So guess what? There is a stat. People do 2 out of 5 mistakes happen during crisis. 2 out of 5 happen during crisis. Because people do sillier things when you're working under crisis. Most silliest mistakes happen. So I recognize that stress are the carrying over things that are causing so much harm, and it became so evident why meditation is very, very naturally bringing us health back. We do a great disservice to ourselves when we keep disconnecting ourselves from the environment, from the people, where our body, our heart is also automatically in a stressful mode. Our heart is also not working properly. That heart brain is also disconnecting itself. That immunity part I didn't talk about. There is a thymus gland behind the heart, which is responsible for most of the T cells, antibodies and T cells. So the T cells are generated from the heart thymus gland behind. And this heart is effectively, then when we are making the heart go haywire, with all these stressful thoughts. And then we're also disconnecting, and then we're actually impairing that generation of the T cells quite a bit. You must read this from Heart Math Institute. So when the T cells are not there, and the T cells are reduced, so immunity is lowered quite a bit. This is the other part of the health. And one said shutting down the systems, and one of that is this one. The gland not working very well, that's why several heart diseases are linked to stress. And then so is their immunity also. And then we say in COVID time, we meditate so much that we are producing tons of T cells, tons of immunity. We are allowing the body to function. So no way, even if COVID comes, we got to heal ourselves very, very easily. I might sound like something, but this is my fundamental belief. If we are able to be without medications forever, and are able to heal any kind of condition, so we do not feel that it is any different. Stay tuned, stay connected, and then thanks for joining once again.